Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another extravagant few minutes live on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and, of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is the Captain Lou Sports Network. You get all of our programming, our archive shows, our extravagant few minutes episodes, the extravaganza with yours truly, and then my sidekick, Mitch Bernstein. And starting on September the 16th, the 10th season of the ACHA Power Play, where the road to St. Louis starts then, as we always do a complete comprehensive dive in the world of the American Collegiate Hockey Association. So all of that and more on the Captain Lou Sports Network. We invite you to be a subscriber there. Also, watch us on X at The Real Captain Lou. You can see all of our posts there as well. A reminder that today's extravagant few minutes episode is brought to you, as always, by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. There's a game you want to go to this weekend. Oklahoma hosting Michigan. Michigan State hosting Boston College. How about the season opener for the Lions and the Packers at Lambeau? Go to SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off your next purchase. It's free money. It's that simple. SeatGeek is where you need to go. The official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and of course, all of our extravagant few minutes episodes. All right. It is Tuesday, September the 2nd, 2025. Hope you enjoyed a great Labor Day weekend. Hope you had fun with friends or family or both or whatever. And I hope you were able to watch some of that great college football over the weekend. We were 3-2 this weekend on our Presley's picks, our teaser parlays, if you will. So you made a little bit of money this week if you tailed with us, and that's great if you did. 4-2 on the campaign. We've got our first NFL teaser pick coming up on Thursday, and as well a slate of college football and pro football picks this weekend. So that's another reason why you need to subscribe to our network and get all those picks, and hopefully you can make some money, get some pizza pies and dog biscuits like we do. We would have done a lot better, but last night we fell for the hype train that was Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Wow, what a comeuppance. What a welcome to the world of college football for Bill Belichick, huh? They went down and scored a touchdown on their first drive. It was 7-0. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? They might be able to get within 10.5. Wow, was I wrong. 48-14, I think, was the score. And TCU, from what I read, called off the Dogs yesterday. It could have really got ugly for the Tar Heels and Bill Belichick. Wow, what an opening performance. Is TCU for real, or is North Carolina that bad? I know TCU is ranked in the top 20. Will they make the Captain Lou Extravagant 8 of college football? We'll find out in a little bit. But I got to tell you, that was a butt whooping of epic proportions last night. Not exactly the way college football wanted to end the Labor Day weekend of marquee games. All the stars were there. Michael Jordan, you name it. They were there for that one, and it got ugly. So we'll see if Bill Belichick can rebound as a head coach and get his first win next week. They take on NC Charlotte, so that probably will be a victory for North Carolina, but you never know. So yikes, what a way to end the weekend. But again, a quick recap of the weekend. LSU with a big win over Clemson. How about Miami with that home win over Notre Dame? Ohio State with the big win as well. Ohio State with that big win over Texas, 14-7. Alabama really getting its doors blown off. Not quite as bad as NC, but Alabama not looking very strong against a Florida State team that was motivated. So some great games this weekend. And that's a taste of what's to come in college football this year. We are in for one heck of a ride in the 2025 season. All right, speaking of college football and the Big Ten, let's turn over to that. Every week, we did it last year online via maybe an article, but we're going to do it this year. Every Tuesday, we're going to call it our Captain Lou Extravagant 5 in the world of the Big Ten in college football and basketball. So let's get going. Without any further ado, let's give you our initial Captain Lou Big Ten Extravagant 5, if you will. And number one, how can we go against the Ohio State Buckeyes? They had the big win this week over Texas, 14-7. Yeah, I don't think they took the training wheels off as far as the offense for both Ohio State and Texas, but that defense kept Arch Manning and the Texas hype train in check. They did well enough to win that one 14-7. So the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes, how can you go against them right now as the number one team in the land? You look at what else happened in the Big Ten over the weekend. Penn State, did they do enough maybe to get the number one ranking? I don't think so. They played Nevada 46-11. Now, I know Nevada got a backdoor cover at the end to make it a 35-point deficit, but until Penn State can overtake Ohio State in the win-loss column, until they can prove they can win a big game, I can't go with them over the defending national champions. Even as a Michigan guy, I can't put Penn State over Ohio State. So I got Penn State ranked number 2 this week in the Extravagant 5 in the Big Ten. At number 3 in the Big Ten, I've got to go with Oregon. Oregon, I know, again, they didn't really play anybody of consequence, but a lot of times in the opening game, these teams don't play anybody big. They took care of Montana State 59-13. So, yeah, I got to leave them there at number 3. Number 4 this week, I kind of struggle with 4, 5, and 6. This, you could throw any name out there right now, especially early in the season. But again, I'm going to go back a little bit to last year. I know they've lost quite a bit, but they got a playoff appearance, and that is Indiana. So I got to go with them at number 4. I know that they only played Old Dominion, and they only beat them 27-14. But I'm going to put them at number 4. Maybe it's because I didn't want to look too much like a homer and put Michigan at number 5. And I thought about Illinois maybe at number 5 as well, or possibly number 4. But Illinois didn't play anybody. Again, who did they play? Western Illinois beat them 52-3. Okay, they've got the high preseason ranking. And I think Illinois could be the Indiana of 2024 or 2025, whatever you want to call it. They don't play anybody in the Big Ten. They don't have a huge schedule. They play Penn State, and that's it. So they could very easily get one loss in the Big Ten and maybe play in the championship game down the line in the Big Ten. But does that make them one of the top 3 teams? I don't think Illinois is any better than Oregon. I don't think they're any better than Ohio State or Penn State for that matter. Are they on the same level as Indiana and Michigan? Maybe. But that's why I said 4, 5, and 6, you could throw it up. You could throw them against the wall. Who knows? That's why I went with Indiana 4, Michigan with 5. They had it was a win. It was a win. In the second half, I thought they coasted. They took their foot off the gas pedal, maybe a couple of mistakes, but they were able to beat New Mexico. So, yeah, they won. They're at number 5. And again, you could go through a laundry list of teams to get that 5th spot. Honorable mention, you could throw Michigan State in there. They beat Western Michigan. Aiden Childs looked good for a half. I mean, you could maybe potentially, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of where it stops right there. Some of these other games, USC over Missouri State, okay. Iowa over Albany, really? Washington maybe over Colorado State, 38-21. Maybe give them a sniff at honorable mention. But those are my extravagant top 5. The extravagant 5 in the Big Ten in our first poll of the year. I've got Ohio State at 1, Penn State at 2, Oregon at 3, Indiana at 4, Michigan at 5, with Illinois getting the honorable mention. Now, along with that, what we do with the Captain Lou Big Ten Extravagant 5, we also do Captain Lou's College Football Extravagant 8. We're going to take a look each week at my top 8 teams of the country. I know you can throw darts at them or whatever, but this is our initial one for this week, so let's get right into it. The Captain Lou Extravagant 8 in college football. Let's get right to it. I'm going with the Big Ten. I'm going with Ohio State, number 1. They had to win over Texas. The defending national champions with a brand new quarterback showed up. They did what they had to do at home in that electric atmosphere at the Horseshoe. They beat Texas 14-7. Is Texas overrated? I don't think so, but Ohio State's defense came to play. They looked strong, and they were able to overcome a couple of mistakes and again, put the training wheels on the quarterback saying, but now we'll see what they do in week 2. But hey, they're the number 1 team in the land. They were in some polls 2, some polls 3. They win. They're the new number 1 team. At number 2, I've got LSU. That was an impressive win over 4th-ranked Clemson. Again, these games at the beginning of the year, especially now with the transfer portal, you sometimes don't know what you get until after the first 2 or 3 weeks. but this was an impressive win on the road at the other Death Valley. So I got to give it to LSU making the jump all the way from the polls having them 10th all the way to number 2. Again, I got to put the Tigers there at number 2. Brian Kelly's team looked very strong in that game against Clemson. At number 3, I'm going to leave Penn State there in the top 3. Again, they haven't beaten anybody of consequence, but I'll leave them there as I kind of went back and forth with them in Miami. I got to tell you, I almost put Miami at number 4. Those were so close. Miami looked so impressive against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to be there at the end, everybody. I was impressed with C.J. Carr at quarterback for Notre Dame. I thought he looked good. Made a couple of freshman mistakes towards the end when the all-out blitz got him, but he almost helped generate that game, that comeback victory over Miami. Miami was able to hang on. I've got Miami at 4. I've got Penn State at 3. I'm going to keep Georgia at number 5. It's funny with Georgia. They're almost becoming an afterthought in the SEC with all the hype that LSU's getting, that Texas got. Everybody thought Alabama was going to rebound after that loss to Michigan in the bowl season last year. Georgia just sits there. I know they didn't play anybody really, but Georgia, they're Georgia. And again, I'm going to keep them in my top 5 at number 5. I'm going to put Oregon at number 6. Again, I know they didn't play anybody either, but they didn't do anything to hurt themselves. So I'm going to put them at 6. In South Carolina, I loved what they did last week with their big win over Virginia Tech. What a gutsy play, by Coach Beamer, and taking the penalty for the re-kick and getting the punt return for a touchdown. Maybe it wasn't gutsy, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. They look strong under the lights. So they're my number 7 pick. And, I went back and forth on this with one-loss teams, maybe putting an undefeated team. I can't put Illinois there. I just can't. They don't play anybody, like I said. I struggled if I figured their honorable mention in my Captain Lou Extravagant 5 of the Big Ten. I can't put them in the top 8. Was it Illinois? Was it Clemson? Was it Notre Dame as an honorable mention? I put Texas. I still think they're a very strong team. They're going to be there right at the end. That's the beauty of the playoff now. You can get a loss early. You can get one loss, maybe 2, and still get in. I still think they're the top 8 team. They're right there with Clemson and Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's better than those 3. I would put Notre Dame 9, Clemson 10, and Illinois 11th. I wouldn't move Illinois up much. But those are my 3 honorable mention teams. So there you go. The initial Captain Lou Extravagant 8 of college football. I've got Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Penn State 3, Miami 4, Georgia 5, Oregon 6, South Carolina 7, and Texas 8, with honorable mention going to Illinois, Clemson, and Notre Dame. All right, we're going to take a look at Major League Baseball standings and, of course, the Tigers as they play the second of 3 against the Mets tonight. But first, I want to remind everybody that an extravagant few minutes is brought to you, as always, by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off your first purchase. You want to go watch the Tigers tonight down in Comerica against the Mets. Any baseball game going on right now. Philadelphia and Milwaukee. You want to get ready to watch Philadelphia and Dallas Thursday night in the opener of the NFL season. Lions, Packers. The full college football slate. Don't go anywhere else. Go to SeatGeek, the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network. They will get you all set. $20. Use the promo code Captain Lou. You'll get $20 off your purchase. It's that simple. It's free money. Why not use it? So go to SeatGeek, the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and they'll get you all set for that game that you want to go to, or maybe a concert. SeatGeek. All right, everybody, let's take a quick look at Major League Baseball. The Tigers yesterday afternoon in a matinee affair, kind of a back-and-forth affair. They were down 2-0. Wenzel Perez got him up to 3-2 with a 3-run dinger. Juan Soto had 6 RBIs, including a grand slam on an 0-2 pitch, or a 1-2 pitch off of Charlie Morton. They went up 6-3. Then Detroit tied it at 6. Then the bullpen let them down. 10-8 was the final score in the first of 3 between the Tigers and the Mets. The Mets with the win, Philly with the win. They're still down 6 games in their division. But the Tigers, with the loss, their lead is now at 9 games over Kansas City as we start play tonight on September 2nd. Kind of a call-up start tonight for the Tigers. Sawyer Gibson-Long is going to take the hill for the Tigers as they look to get a split of this 3-game series going to tomorrow. Hopefully maybe with a chance to take 2 out of 3. So big game tonight for the Tigers to try to maintain the momentum. They're at 80 wins and 59 losses. And the magic number for the Tigers is still at 16. All right, a quick look at Major League Baseball, the standings in Major League Baseball. In the American League East, the Toronto Blue Jays, 20 games above 500 at 79 and 59. Their lead over the Yankees now is at 2.5, along with the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox have won a couple straight, so they've pulled even with the Yankees, just 2.5 games back of the Blue Jays in the American League East. We talked about the Tigers. They're now a 9-game lead over the Royals, 10.5 still over the Cleveland Guardians. They lost again yesterday, and the Twins are way back as well. In the West, Houston with a win yesterday. They're now 3 games up on the Seattle Mariners and 4.5 over the Texas Rangers. The Rangers won again. They've won 6 straight. In the National League, the Phillies, they won, as we mentioned, along with the Mets. So the lead's still 6 games for the Phillies in the National League East. In the Central, the Brewers lost a couple of straight. Their lead now down to 5.5 over the Chicago Cubs. Milwaukee's still with the best record in all of Major League Baseball at 85 and 54. And finally, in the American League or the National League West, the Dodgers with a big win yesterday. They've now won a couple in a row. They have a 2.5 game lead over the San Diego Padres. Padres lost again, their 2nd straight loss. And the Giants trying to make hay in the National League, trying to maybe sneak into that wild card picture. Although I think the wild card teams are pretty much set, especially in the National League. They're at 9 games back, 9.5 back are the Giants at 69 up and 69 down. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Our initial look at the Captain Lou Big Ten Extravagant 5 and the Captain Lou College Football Extravagant 8. If there's any part of this that you missed, make sure you subscribe to our channel. That is the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube, and you'll be able to go back and see who our top 5 are in the Big Ten, who our top 8 are in college football. And you can agree, disagree, argue, whatever you want to do. That's what we're here for. Friendly banner back and forth, talking sports. All right, everybody, thanks again for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your laptops, however you watched us around the world, right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. An extravagant few minutes for Tuesdays in the books. Join us tomorrow, 7 o'clock, for another edition of the Extravaganza with Captain Lou and Mitch. And we'll be back on Thursday with our next extravagant few minutes episode. All right, everybody, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. So long, everybody.